After a long wait, the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, released his manifesto titled Renewed Hope 2023 Action Plan for a Better Nigeria. The manifesto was unveiled on Friday by President Muhammadu Buhari, who stated that the transition to another APC government is as vital as the 2015 victory of the party. What is striking in Mr. Tinubu's document is that there are certain promises in the 2015 APC manifesto of change that have been carried over to the new document. The document has generated mixed reactions from different quarters. Some have lauded some of the initiatives in the document, while others described it as lacking in specifics. Seun Oni-Gbende, the head of the non-profit organization Budget, tweeted that even though the document lacks details, it contains some good ideas. The BAT manifesto is hardly quantitative. Just reading through makes it hard to really understand what one expects him to account for, especially on the numbers. However, I concede that there are some good ideas in the document. A full review will come with time, he tweeted. Mr. Tinubu has consistently proposed a credit system to stem corruption. The former Lagos State governor stressed that a mortgage system will address the problem of corruption in the civil service. In the document, Mr. Tinubu is proposing to merge all federal agencies in charge of housing to create a single housing agency that can manage a mortgage system. The agency will have a threefold mandate. 1. Grant low interest rate mortgages directly. 2. Guarantee qualified mortgages issued by banks. And 3. Purchase mortgages from private banks. But in 2015, the APC also promised to create a mortgage market by reforming land ownership to give ordinary Nigerians easy access to title deeds. We propose to give an opportunity to as many Nigerians who want to acquire their own homes through government-championed housing development funded by an affordable nationwide mortgage system. The Buhari administration would argue that through the National Housing Fund and the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, it has enabled many Nigerians to own their own homes, but millions of working Nigerians still remain homeless and have to pay sometimes outrageous rents to landlords. The 2015 document also proposed to create an obligation on private housing developers to build or contribute financially to the building of social housing projects as part of the planning approval process. In the education sector, Mr. Tinubu is proposing boards to manage federally owned primary and secondary schools. The boards will reserve membership spaces and decision-making power for members of the local committees. The 2015 manifesto of the APC had also promised to decentralize the management of primary schools to parents and communities. In 2015, the APC government promised to establish a properly trained and equipped federal anti-terrorism multi-agency task force to destroy Boko Haram and any form of insurgency. It also promised to create a federal anti-terrorism agency, FATA, with properly trained and professional staff combining elements of both the police and the State Security Service, which would be fully accountable to the National Assembly to conduct anti-terrorism and counter-insurgency operations. None of these promises were achieved. In Mr. Tinubu's manifesto, he is promising to establish highly trained and disciplined anti-terrorist battalions, ABATs. According to the document, the objective shall be to seize the strategic and tactical initiative, giving terrorists, kidnappers, and bandits no respite. In the 2015 manifesto, the APC proposed to revive the textile industry in Nigeria, revive textile and other industries that have been rendered dormant because of the inappropriate economic policies, the report stated. This time, Mr. Tinubu is proposing to create new industrial hubs in the northwest and northeast that will focus on textiles. We shall introduce commodity boards to establish minimum prices for strategic crops such as cashew, cocoa, same soya, cassava, yam, rubber, okra, palm kernel, granules, and okra. This will guarantee minimum incomes for farmers, Mr. Tinubu stated in his document. Although the APC in 2015 document did not promise a commodity board, it stated that the government would create a global price index for certain commodities. It also promised to guarantee a world-indexed minimum price for selected crops and thereby guarantee farmers an adequate minimum price for their yields from which they can sustain their operations and have a dignified livelihood without fear of poverty. Speaking on the failure of the incumbent administration to implement some of the 2015 promises, the spokesperson of the APC Presidential Campaign Council and Labour Minister Festus Keyamo said this was because of the status of the economy. Mr. Keyamo, while appearing on Politics Today, a political program on Channels TV on Friday, said the economy was in a downward spiral when the APC government took over in 2015. Hence, the party was constrained. In 2014, no less a person than Okonjo Iweala, who was the then Minister of Finance, told everyone that we are headed to recession, so we did not give that excuse. It was the PDP government that said at that time they were leaving, that the country was on a downward slide towards recession, and that was in 2013 and 2014, he said. In the past week, calls for the state police dominated political discourse due to the face-off between members of the National Assembly and state governors. Premium Times had reported that the chairman of the Senate Committee, Ovie Omoagege, accused state governors of influencing state assemblies to halt consideration of the constitutional amendment bills until the state police bill is reintroduced. Federal lawmakers in March rejected the state police bill, but the Nigerian Governors Forum (NGF) has resolved to prioritize the bill. Mr. Tinubu, in his policy document, did not state categorically if he's going to back the removal of police from the exclusive list. He stated that he plans to assess the needs of different localities and develop policing based on them. Our government will work in close collaboration with state governments and the National Assembly to enact measures necessary to secure and protect communities from criminal violence, particularly kidnapping and terrorism. These measures will be flexible and adaptive in order to fit local realities and challenges. Some instances may call for the establishment or enactment of civil neighborhood watch groups. Others may require the establishment of more formal locally based law enforcement institutions.